Welcome back to Trade Price Cars TV with me, Zach. We've got another comparison for you. We have the Ford Ecosport, and we are putting that up against the Renault Captur. So, first of all, the looks of the Ford. Now, the Kugas have gone all aggressive in the grille. The Ecosport is like a little timid younger brother. It's got quite a standard sort of grille. It doesn't look too fierce, but it's not meant to be. I think in terms of the look of it, it's actually had a couple facelifts now. It's been out a little while, so it's actually getting a little bit better. And the newer ones, 2018 ones, look the part a little bit more as well. In terms of the Renault, I think basically this is an inflated Clio. It's based on the Renault Clio, and I think there's a lot of fans out there of the Renault Clio. They're really popular cars. So a beefier Clio I quite like the look of. So I guess in terms of looks, if you have to ask me to choose, I'd choose the Captur at this stage. But we'll see what it's like on the inside and the boot. The inside of this. Okay, so there are some downsides. A lot of hard plastic. You know, I don't like the hard plastic in the build of it. That is a little bit frustrating as soon as you get in here. However, on the inside, if you like the inside of your Ford Kugas and your Fiestas, etc., you're going to like the inside of this. Everything is very practical. There's some good options for storage. Nice big sort of storage bin there. It's okay. The seats are quite comfortable. What I'd say is that they're not supportive for long journeys. I know that sounds a little bit pedantic of me, but I'd like them to hug me a little bit more, and therefore I'd be much more comfortable on long journeys rather than sort of having a little bit of a backache, etc. But they're quite good for short little journeys and run around journeys. It's okay in here. Okay, so let's get into the back and let's see if the compact SUV does its job and if it's got lots of room. So that was my actual driving position. I've been driving about in it today, and as you can see on the inside here, I've got quite a bit of room in front of me. And the good thing is that I haven't got the roof right on top of my head as well. So actually, I'm quite pleasantly surprised. I was thinking the Ecosport would be a little bit lackluster on the inside in terms of space. What I would say is that there's probably going to be quite cramped if you had 3 adults along the back here. There probably is enough for a kid in the middle or something like that. Other than that, though, I'm not complaining too much on the legroom and my headroom. In terms of storage in here, there's the little pocket there. There's a tiny little door bin there that can't fit much in. And I can adjust the headrests as well. Now to the boot. Look how it opens. So on that, you've got to be careful about where you park. Obviously, a parallel parking space in a high street, for example, they're usually going to be quite tight. So this, opening it out and another car being there, yeah, you're going to have to be careful where parking anywhere, really, because of this. The open up ones, they're a bit better. But anyway, it's different. There's quite a bit of space. There isn't as much space in here as there is in the Renault Captur, as well as some other of the competitors, but it's not too bad. You can fit enough in here. There's no storage underneath either, so this one, if you want this out, again, that's just going to sit in your garage or your shed or wherever it is. Maybe you even forget where it goes, but I always like somewhere to keep it in the car. But this hasn't got it. You've got to put the seats down from here. Annoying. I like to be able to put the seats down from here. And as you can see here, I've put one of the seats down. It doesn't run flat. In fact, that's nowhere near flat. Which is disappointing. I'm making a big thing of all this boot space on my reviews, but it's important. If you're buying a compact SUV, it does the job properly. It's got a lot of room, but there's some tweaks that I would make. Right, over to the Renault Captur. Now, on the inside of this, it's pretty nice. Now, the inside of a Clio, I quite like. There's not as much proper hard plastic. It's got a little bit of a different feel to it. It is a bit plasticky in places, but it looks a little bit nicer. It's more aesthetically pleasing. Now it's got some digital sort of dials here as well, as long as your petrol gauge and your rev count. And then infotainment system, whilst it's in keeping with Ford's Ecosports, but Ford Ecosports is miles away from you. At least this one's quite close and you feel like you're a little bit more engaged. What I would say is that they're fairly similar on the inside. The seats are quite similar, as I would say. They're going to be good for your little run around journeys, but not offer much support for your long journeys. So on the inside, very similar in terms of cabin. You're going to find a great driving position in both. So over to the back seats. Let's see if there's room enough in the Captur. So as we mentioned, this is a beefed up Clio. It doesn't look huge, but again, that's the correct driving position for me, and I've got plenty of room in front of me. I've also got plenty of room above me as well. A little bit less room, I'd say, than the EcoSport, so that is probably a bigger car. It looks a bit bigger as well. So taking the entire family out and fitting 3 adults across here is going to be a bit of a squeeze and quite uncomfortable. You can do it, but you're not going to be comfortable. But there's quite a lot of room for me here as a passenger. There's no pocket there for storage, and the storage bin here is very small indeed. You can probably fit a packet of crisps there, and that's about it. Now, for the main bit, the boot, right? This one opens like a normal boot. So therefore you haven't got to worry about opening like a van door. And this one is one of the biggest in its class actually. It's got more space than the Peugeot 2008 crossover, so it's beating its French rival there, and it's got a little bit more space, like I say, than the EcoSport. But it's also got some storage underneath there as well. Look at that. Huge amount of storage, which I was really impressed with. So that makes a point. You can actually put this somewhere. You can put it under there, and you don't have to leave it in the garage. What you can also do is let the seats down from this position. There we go, from the boot. No messing. And look at that. It runs flat. I mean, there should be some sort of I know, I'm really sad. But yeah, this is a good boot as terms of compact SUVs. They've got a run flat boot, storage underneath. You can open the boots from there. What more do you want in a car? The 1 litre Ecoboost engine with the turbo is just brilliant. I love it. Genuinely can't say enough good things about this engine in this car. It doesn't feel like a 1 litre. It gives you so much performance, and it puts out 124 brake horsepower, which is much more than the Renault Captur. The only issue with the EcoSport is that it's not sporty, so the fact that it's called an EcoSport is a little bit misleading. The handling is not exactly in keeping with other Fords. The Kuga, Fiesta and Focus all handle really well, but this one is a little bit lackluster. In terms of performance, you won't be bored in this car, but on the handling side, for a compact SUV and up against some stiff competition, it leaves you a little bit disappointed. Here at Trade Price Cars, we've managed to get the Renault Captur with the best engine option, the 1.5 litre diesel engine, which only gives 90 brake horsepower out, but it will get you 76 miles per gallon, whereas the EcoSport is languishing in the 50s, so the Captur definitely has one up there. This is cheating a little bit for a compact SUV. Most of these cars in this class will have the option of 4-wheel drive, but this Captur only comes in 2-wheel drive. Is it a fully fledged SUV if it doesn't have the option of 4-wheel drive? I'll let you decide. The fact that this is based on the Clio is always going to be a plus. The Clio's styling is very popular. The low running costs and the boot space and practicality means that the Captur is going to be a worthy competitor for all those other compact SUVs on the market, and I think it's going to be an excellent choice for most people driving away in one. What I would say is that the EcoSport probably gives you a little bit more performance, but in terms of running costs and practicality, I think the Captur has one up on it. Thank you very much for watching Trade Price Cars TV. As I always say, these two are for sale on our website, www.tradepricecars.com. Go on there and see the full spec of them both. And also, we've got 300 cars on site in stock, ready and waiting. Thank you very much for watching.